and welcome to this quick webinar on Agentic AI for FP&A. AI, as we know, is changing everything in the way we work, right? And FP&A is no different. How FP&A is impacted by AI, how Agentic AI is going to change FP&A. So all of that we will try and understand today. So a quick roadmap for the session. So how AI is impacting FP&A. So how was FP&A without AI, and now what is the difference with AI? And then the different levels of AI. When we understand about AI, AI in itself is a vast field, right? So what are the different levels of AI? And then some agentic AI use cases. I'll share with you a real use case that a corporate is using right now. And also I'll share with you some small demonstrations just to give you an idea of what the future of FP&A in agentic AI is going to look like. And then, of course, we'll have some Q&A in the end. Okay, so all in all, it'll be about 45 to 60 minutes. So get rid of all the distractions and let's focus on today's session. In the end, I'll share with you a quick bonus, which is 20 plus use cases pack of using Excel, Claude inside Excel for FP&A. It comes with all the video instructions, the practice files. There are more than 20 plus use cases how you can use Claude inside Excel for FP&A. So we'll share this special bonus in the end. So watch out for that. If I forget it, please remind me. But we'll share this in the very end. Okay. So let's get started. A little bit about me. So my name is Dhawal Parvatikar. I'm a qualified chartered accountant. Over the last 2 decades, I've worked as a CFO in India and in the Middle East. I'm now the co-founder and lead faculty at FP&A Professionals Institute. I'm also a part-time faculty at ISB CFO program in ISB Hyderabad. And then I've also mentored more than 1,000 plus chartered accountants, been an online instructor since last 6 years, been training on various topics like FP&A, finance business partnering, one-to-one CFO career coaching, data storytelling, and much more. I've trained more than 5,000 professionals on all these areas. You will frequently see me in events across the Middle East. I've also built a vibrant community of more than 200 plus CFOs. We meet every quarter in events, in high tea catch-ups, breakfast catch-ups. So it's a very vibrant community through which I get a lot of ideas of implementing latest things in my course as well. I have my co-founder Asif with me. Asif is also a chartered accountant, comes with 2 decades of experience, worked with large brands like Citibank, Pfizer, Coursera. Is author of 3 books that you see on the screen. Again, a celebrated FP&A author and a trainer. Always happy to partner with you, Asif. So what we have done over the last 3 years is that we have tried to bring the best in FP&A, not only from our experience, but also globally the best FP&A professionals. We have tried to bring all that experience through our masterclasses, training programs, coaching programs. And the CGFPA program is our signature flagship 6 month advanced certification program, which covers nearly everything that you can imagine under FP&A. So we'll talk about CGFPA in the end. It's a future-ready FP&A program covering all the data analytics tools and AI tools, along with practical examples and real-life use cases. Okay, so that's the CGFPA program for you. How? Let's get started by understanding how is AI impacting FP&A, right? So AI, as we know, is going to, it's not just about the tool, or it's not just about how AI is going to improve productivity. So there are a lot of things that AI will change, and it's not just about tool. So many times when I talk about AI, the CFOs, the FP&A heads, or students for that matter, they come and ask me, "Hey, Dhawal, which tool do I use?" So let's all first understand that AI is not a tool. Don't look for that perfect tool. There is no such thing as a perfect tool in AI. There are probably 100 plus tools that AI tools out there and you could be using for different use cases or different purposes. So don't think about AI as a tool. I get questions from many CFOs many times saying that, hey, I want to, my CEO has given me a mandate that why are there 5 people in your FP&A team? Use some AI tool and get rid of 2, 3 people. Or why are there 10 accountants in your team? Use some AI and get rid of 3 people, right? It's not that simple, first of all. But yes, are we heading towards that? Maybe slowly, but it's not that simple. And also, it's not one tool that I'll put AI and then get rid of people. So it's not that simple. So there are a lot of things that goes behind understanding and implementing an AI tech stack. Okay, so but what definitely has what definitely is the scene right now is that AI has impacted scaling up in a very different way. So even today in our institute, right? So the amount of operations, the content and everything that we create, we would probably require a team of 25, 30 people, but we are managing with half the size. Yeah. So AI has definitely impacted the productivity, and the way things are done or executed has become much faster with AI. So how is AI impacting FP&A? So let's understand this, right? Traditionally, FP&A teams spent a lot of time on manual extraction, reconciliation, validation of data, right? So it involved that endless loop of VLOOKUPs and XLOOKUPs and whatnot, right? So that is where, yes, I see some comments. I'll address them. Uh, so that is where that endless loop of VLOOKUPs and manual consolidation and all of that used to happen, and it also resulted in static reports, right? So if somebody asks you to change an assumption and you do all the things again, you do the VLOOKUP again, you do the process again, or you get some complicated macro built somewhere from somebody, some Excel expert, right? And which you don't know how to fix if it gets broken, right? So that was the traditional FP&A scene. But today, with AI coming in, different systems that are used by companies like your ERPs, your CRM systems, your HRMS tools, the integration between these tools has become far more easier. So with AI, what is going to happen is that there will be typically a centralized or a unified data lake that will be created. And this data lake is like a well-defined summary of everything that is happening in your various tools, your cloud ERP, your CRM, your HRMS tools, or any other market tools, right? All of that is coming into this unified data lake. And on top of this data lake, you would either fit an FP&A tool or machine learning models or your dashboards or Power BI dashboards or any other BI tool dashboards or any FP&A tools or EPM implementation tools, right? So these are some things that will changing with AI when it comes to FP&A. So we are moving towards unified intelligence and not fragmented information here and there, which is not talking to each other. So that's the biggest change that is coming in FP&A. Now, what are the different levels of AI? So I'm going to spend just quick 1 minute on the different levels of AI. See, automation existed even before the AI wave came in, right? So from basic automation to autonomous intelligence. So you can divide AI into four different levels. First is the robotic process automation. So this is for all your rule-based tasks. Wherever there is rule-based tasks, well-defined processes, and you can automate them through RPA. And these were existing even before the AI wave came in. Okay. And a couple of years ago, I had met a CFO of an insurance company, and uh, she mentioned that almost 80% of the claims today are being done through RPA, and only 20% of the claims involve manual intervention. So that is the kind of automation that is possible with RPA. Then comes machine learning. So machine learning is where you want the system to understand historical data or recognize certain patterns by looking at the past data and then predict the future, right? Revenue forecast, fraud detection, credit risk default or default scoring. So all of these things are some of the use cases in machine learning and predictive analytics. Then generative AI. Generative AI is where you can, where the system understands natural language. You can give instructions to it. You can do a Q&A style conversation, generate commentaries, prepare presentations. All of your regular Claudes, your Chat GPTs come under the generative AI. And then finally, there is agentic AI. Agentic AI is autonomous in its decision making. So it does decisions on its own. It does not just follow a well defined rule or a pattern like coding. It can react to situations. It can understand and adjust itself to situations like a real person. So that is where it is called agentic AI. Again, one of the use cases was that I had attended a conference recently where they presented an AI agent, which was a real estate AI agent. And this agent actually called a prospect, understood the requirements of the prospect, whether he needs a 1 bedroom or a 2 bedroom, and actually booked a viewing in a apartment building. So that was autonomous intelligence. So that was autonomous or agentic AI's example. Now, if AI or agentic AI can drive cars on their own, book apartment viewings on their own, I'm pretty sure they'll be able to pass some debit credits. And we'll also look at some examples in today's session. Okay. So that is where agentic AI. So depending on from basic automation to autonomous intelligence. So these are the four different levels of AI, right? And agentic AI being autonomous in nature and self-sustaining in nature. Now, let's understand a little bit of use cases. Our topic today is agentic AI. So let's understand. I'm going to share with you three use cases for agentic AI today. So one is used by a large healthcare company here in Abu Dhabi. And then the other two are a quick demonstration that I'm going to do to show you how AI can do autonomous accounting, how AI can do autonomous FP&A reporting on its own, given the right triggers. So the first use case is of a healthcare company that I know in Abu Dhabi. I spoke to the CFO recently, and they are using machine learning models and a little bit of AI to do predictive rolling forecast or predictive forecasting. So what typically happens is that in a healthcare company, you or especially in developed markets like US or UAE, every clinic is required to maintain a lot of patient data because everything is reimbursed by insurance. Unlike in India, where only hospitalization is reimbursed, in the UAE, everything is reimbursed. Even if I go to the doctor for a small consultation, it is reimbursed by the insurance company. So which requires the clinics to maintain a lot of data of the patient history as well. Now, what this healthcare or the clinic chain has done is that they have introduced machine learning models where it can understand patterns and read through the large sets of data, historical data, on an average, which patient has visited the clinic for how many times, for what illness, what was the average transaction value that he has done, right? So all of that, like for example, let's say if in the last 4 years I have been staying in Dubai and I have been visiting the same clinic every time, they will have enough historical data. They can probably predict that in 2027 I might come to the clinic for a couple of times, right? So they are using this to understand what would be the revenue for the next quarter, and what is the kind of traction that might be coming. Okay, and earlier when they had manual predictions. So they had about 75 to 80% accuracy, which has significantly gone up between 85 to 90% accuracy in terms of their forecast, right? So that is the advantage that they have been able to achieve in this healthcare company. Okay, so that is one of the practical use cases of using AI or machine learning for that matter, for predictive rolling forecasts. Cool. So let's move to the next demonstration. So I'll give you a quick demonstration on autonomous accounting in Zoho Books. Now, Zoho Books is one of the popular ERPs in India and the Middle East, and probably now also starting in the US. So Zoho Books is like it's an accounting software, right? And it's a popular ERP that many companies are using or small and medium enterprises are using. So I thought, okay, can I find an AI agent which can do autonomous accounting with Zoho? Like I have to not go to Zoho Books and pass an accounting entry. I'll just say, hey, pass an invoice on XYZ person, and will it pass the invoice? Right. So that's what I wanted to kind of experiment. And guess what? I was able to do it, and it was pretty simple. I spent about an hour or so to connect the API key with the agent. So let me just quickly give you a demonstration of this. Let me share my full screen. For this demonstration, I'm going to use a tool called Manus AI. Sorry, just give me a second. Yeah. So I'm going to use a tool called Manus AI. So Manus AI, in terms of its look and feel, it looks pretty much like your ChatGPT or a Claude, right? So, but it has far more capabilities, autonomous capabilities, research capabilities, building presentations is far better. It can create financial models from scratch, which now Claude can also do. But it can create or work on Excel sheets autonomously, so it can do a lot of things. The window is pretty much like ChatGPT, but it has far more autonomous and agentic AI capabilities. This can be your near agentic AI experience. So if at all you want to try Manus, I think the lowest subscription is $19. Yeah. Yeah, there are many tools, Saket. I see that there are some tool names being mentioned, but there are many tools as well. So Manus is a public, it's a general purpose tool, right? So it's like your Claude, your ChatGPT. So Manus AI, which is a Chinese tool, it's powered by Claude and Gwen, and now Manus is actually acquired by Meta. Okay, so this is your near experience to agentic AI. It can do a lot of things autonomously. I've done complex tasks, researches, and everything. So let me just quickly show you a couple of use cases. I think the basic subscription starts with $19. I have a slightly higher tier because my usage is heavy. Okay, so let me show you quick uh, thing what I did with Zoho Books. So I thought, okay, they were boasting about Manus being autonomous. It is your nearest experience to agentic AI. So then I thought, okay, will Manus do my accounting for me? Right. So what I did was I opened a dummy company in Zoho Books, and then I followed the instructions on Zoho Developer. I asked Manus the same question, that can you do my accounting in Zoho Books? So Manus said I can do it. Okay, now show me step by step how do you do it? Then it gave me a detailed documentation, step by step documentation, where I started following those steps and connecting Manus using an API key with my Zoho Books. And once that connection was done, it was like magic, right? So I was able to give natural language commands, not in Zoho Books, but in Manus directly. Okay. For example, I'll just show you one quick example. I said, I'm not able to do it right now because it takes some time. It's pretty fast in that sense, but maybe let's try that out as well. So raise an invoice on Veronica for accounting advisory services for AAD 3750 dated 5th of March 2026, right? So this was my instruction. Manus said, okay, I'll create a new customer account. By the way, Veronica was not existing as a customer in the books. It said, I'll create Veronica as a customer account. I can also give a command by saying that, hey, create this customer account first with this location, this parameter, and all of that, and then ask to raise an invoice. But in this case, it chose to create a Veronica customer account directly and raise an invoice dated 5th of March for 3750. After creating, it's a done invoice posted for Veronica, invoice number 007. So it gave me some details and accounting entry posted, right? Accounts receivable, and I did not instruct whether it was a cash sale or a credit sale. That's why it assumed it will be a credit sale. So it's created a customer account and said, okay, accounts receivable Veronica debit to sales revenue. So this was the entry pass. Let me now show you in Zoho Books how this entry looks like. Right. So here is my sales. Here is my invoices. Okay. So here is the invoice number 007 to Veronica, 5th of March 2026 for 3750. Yeah, I can click on this. You will see that it picked up the narration all its own. It created a tax invoice. Okay, so it posted the accounting invoice entry without even touching Zoho Books. Similarly, for I have experimented with many things, putting expense claims, passing accounting entries, all of these things, or creating bulk customer accounts. So I've experimented with multiple aspects. So this is a quick glimpse that, the future of your tools is natural language processing, right? So now here I'm using Manus AI, connected it with an API tool with my Zoho Books. It need not be Manus. It can be any other accounting agent that Zoho Books API key allows or a developer key allows you to do it, right? Or it may also happen that Zoho Books in itself will come with an embedded agent facility, right, or a functionality. So where, let's say on the left side like this, instead of raising an invoice, I'll have a chat GPT style window where I can give command in natural language saying that raise an invoice and so, and it will post an accounting entry within Zoho Books itself. I don't need even a Manus or an external agent. So that is where we are heading, right? Natural language processing, giving instructions in simple language, and then the tool is able to execute that automatically. Okay, so this is just one example of autonomous accounting. Okay, but now this is still not FP&A, right? So I thought, okay, let me see if it can be helpful for FP&A in some way. Okay, so I extended my experiment and I said that, okay, uh, this was my prompt again. So I said, can you pull the sales register from my Zoho Books for the year 2025? Compare it with the budget sheet that I've attached, which is the Excel sheet. Act as an expert FP&A analyst and give me a sharp one-slide CFO level presentation. Explain the variances between actuals and budget. So I created a dummy budget file. The budget file looks something like this. Okay, a very simple file just to experiment. Let me just quickly show you the budget file. So this is the budget file. So this is the customer name, let's say Asif Apeksha, right? And these are the budgeted invoices for October, November, December. The total budgeted uh, amount is 17,500 dirhams, right? So this is the this is the budget file that I quickly created just to do this experiment. Okay. And then I pasted this file here and I said, okay, now pull the sales register from Zoho Books automatically. You do the comparison and give me a one slide CFO presentation or explain the variance analysis to me. Then it said, okay, I'll pull the actuals data, 2025 actuals data from Zoho Books, compare it with the budget file and give you the variance. Okay. Now, initially, what I tried to do was I did not paste the Excel file, the budget Excel file. Okay. I kept it in a Google Drive. Okay. And I said, can you connect to the Google Drive, pick up the budget sheet from the Google Drive, pick up the actuals data from Zoho Books, compare it, and then give me a one slide presentation. Okay. Now there were some restrictions for Manus to connect to the Google account, so it did not connect to a Google account. Basically, my Google account was on a different ID, and my Zoho Books was on a different ID. My the where I kept the sheet was on a different ID, so it did not do it. But it can connect to a Google folder and do things autonomously as well. But then I decided to give it the Excel file and then do the comparison. So it pulled it's giving me an executive summary, right? So revenue miss, it fell short of the budget by 5,500 dirhams, right? Key driver, it's giving me all this information. So it gave me a one-page graph as well, along with a commentary. Now let's look at this graph, how this looks like. Revenue missed by Revenue missed the budget by 5,500, right? And it gave me monthly split. It gave me a bar chart with a monthly split with the commentary. Okay. And I did not like the bar chart. Okay. So I wanted a waterfall chart. Typically, when you explain the variances, you would want a waterfall chart, right? So I said, okay, can you give me the slide again with a waterfall chart instead of a standard bar chart? Yes, then I said, okay, I will update the slide. to feature waterfall chart, which is perfect for visualizing customer variances, blah, blah, blah. So it gave me all that information. And then it finally gave me a one slide CFO style presentation, neatly formatted, very nicely done. Okay, nice action title said revenue missed budget by 5,500 dirhams. Timing and mix explain the variances. 2025 actuals revenue is 12,500, which you can see here in Zoho Books. If I show you my invoices, okay, all the 2025 invoices, if you see, if you add them together, it will be 12,500 dirhams. So 5,000, 7,500 plus 4,500. Okay, so this is roughly 12,000 dirhams. Okay, so 17,500 minus 12,000 is 5,500. That is a variance. Okay, and why is this variance? Asif, I had anticipated whatever I had anticipated. I have built 1.5K lower. Similarly, for Trishika, I have built 3K lower. Grace, again, which was not in the budget, came in as a surprise. So it says unbudgeted win. Grace was billed at 2,500 dirhams, offsetting the gap. Pipeline miss October, December, inactive Kajal and Trishika. So whatever we wanted to build to Kajal and Trishika, that did not happen. That immediate pipeline review is required, whatever. So that's the action point that the tool is trying to tell us. Okay. So again, a neatly presented one slide CFO style presentation. Now again, here Manus AI or even Claude Code or any of the tools these days have a capability to connect with your respective tools. Okay, and I can also define a trigger. For example, I can say after every month close, okay, you give me this budget versus actuals analysis. Okay, or after every quarter close, you give me this budget versus actuals analysis, and it will be able to use that in the trigger as well. Okay, so that's how it is able to autonomously do it. Maybe if you want to try something in accounting, we can try and do that. But I hope you get the gist that this is how things are going to change, right? So you will not be working on Excel sheets or trying to compute your variances manually anymore. There will be some or the other tool. Today it's Manus here that I'm using as an example. But tomorrow there will be some other tool or an embedded AI functionality in the tool that you are using. Let's say an SAP or Anaplan or JDocs or any of the tools, right? So they will come up with an embedded AI functionality where you will not be creating things from scratch. You will be talking to these tools in natural language and getting things done from them. So that is where the future is heading in terms of FP&A. Okay, so let me show you maybe one more use case. Okay, so let me also quickly show you a chat GPT use case as well, a simple AI agent that I created with chat GPT. Okay, so one of the important aspects in FP&A now is that every time you don't need to go to an agentic AI tool or a Manus or a Claude or a chat GPT. So how can we make the results coming out of AI more deterministic, right? So the way you can do that is you can actually create mini agents for that very specific task that you want to execute. Okay, for example, what I did was I went to ChatGPT and I created a budget versus variance, actual variance analysis. Or let me try and show you that as well. Hold on. So we have 5, 10 more minutes. Okay, let me show you that. Okay, so what I try to do is create a mini small agent which can compare my budget versus actual revenue variance file. Okay, so budget versus actuals agent. So I went to ChatGPT and said that can you create a AI agent? Okay, so which will HTML agent in HTML agent. Okay, so HTML is the language. So HTML agent and also give me the variance analysis. Okay, so let me just show you the main prompt. Here's the prompt. So can you build a variance analysis agent in HTML where I should get an option to upload the budget file in one window, right? And then the actual file in the other window. Then the agent should analyze the variances and give me a CFO style dashboard, okay, with brief commentaries. So that was a brief, and it created a variance analysis agent. So let me show you how this looks like. Let me say restore this version. So one of the challenges of using these AI tools is that if you ask for a certain data the next time, it may not yield the same results, which means it may not yield in the same type of commentary, same type of analysis. So that is why to make these AI tools more deterministic. So that is where we can create these mini agents as well. So this is what is the agent which is created. So let me quickly show you a preview how this looks like. So this is a revenue variance analysis agent. Here I can upload my budget file. Here I can upload my actuals file and then run variance analysis and it will give me the variance analysis. Now what I did is I downloaded this. There is an option to download as well, right? So if you go here, you can download this version and download as HTML. So what I did, I exactly did the same. I downloaded the HTML version of this. So this is the variance analysis agent in HTML. Now, when I'm using the HTML version, it is not connected to the not connected to any LLM in the background, right? It is doing things autonomously. So which means that I don't need to use tokens for every command. I don't need to use ChatGPT for every command. So this is an autonomous thing which can exist on my desktop. Okay. And especially best for recurring tasks. So what I'm going to do here is upload the budget revenue file. So, okay, I'm going to choose a revenue file here from the folder that I've saved. Just give me a second. Where is the folder? Yeah, Agentic AI test files. Okay. So I'm going to use a SaaS budget revenue data. Okay, budget revenue here. I'm going to say open. Okay. And I'm going to choose the actuals file here. Okay. And then say open. Okay. Now there is a budget file. Then there's an actual file. I'm going to say run variance analysis. Fingers crossed. Yes. So here is a analysis. So my budget was 2.59 million AD. My actual revenue is 2.62. So there is a positive variance of 28.8K. So that is being explained, right? And also an executive summary in a partner level. So this was an enterprise SaaS kind of a company. So US partner did well, KSA partner did not do well, whatever. So they're giving me that information here. And also the details is here. In Jan, Feb, March, what happened? The US partner exceeded, then the Saudi Arabia partner missed the target, right? But within tolerance, whatever. So it is giving me, trying to give me some information as well. Now I can refine this commentary. I can refine this commentary. I can add some complexities. I can make the variances much more sharper and then fix that once and for all. And for recurring tasks, whatever tasks you have been doing right now, that endless loop of VLOOKUPs and everything, right? So all of that can get automated. So this is a very simple use case that I'm trying to show you, but uh, more complex use cases are possible. I'm just showing you the possibility that a lot of things can be done where you need not require an AI tool now. So once you have created it, it will give you the same deterministic results every month. Next month, when the file changes, the number changes, I'll do the same thing. I'll upload these two files, run variance analysis, and it will give me similar result. Okay, with the same explanation or with the same factors explanation. Ideally, when you create this, it's better if you can upload the budget and the actual file so that it can study the pattern, study the rows, study the columns, and um, give you a solution accordingly, which is customized for those two sheets. Okay, so I hope you're getting a glimpse of what all are the possibilities, with agentic AI. And he has a question: do we need to upload the budget and actual file in the same format? Does it analyze row? Yeah. So ideally, because this was a small agent, it can, if you want a deterministic result, if you want consistent results every time, then try and keep the same format. Okay, for both the budget and the actual file. But however, if you are using it with an LLM model, like let's say if I ask Manus to analyze two files, it is capable enough to analyze two different kind of files with two different set of columns and give me a comparison. But here, this is not connected to an LLM. So this is independently lying on my desktop. Okay. Now, if I upload a file which is of any other kind of a format, it may not yield the right kind of results. Okay. Because I want deterministic same kind of results every month consistently for my recurring tasks, which I want to automate, I've created this agent for my desktop. But it can, if it is connected to an LLM or a model, it can analyze two different patterns of files or kinds of files with different rows, columns, etc., and then give you the result also. That is possible. Yeah. So for example, we did that. We saw that in Manus, right? So when I uploaded the budget file in Manus, the budget file was of a certain format. The actuals which it took from Zoho Books on its own, that could be of a different format, but it gave me accurate results in terms of the presentation. So if it is connected to a model, then it can analyze. Otherwise, if you want deterministic results, then it is the coding magic. In the background, coding is happening, right? Or the codes are fixed and it is able to compare the same things every month and then give a deterministic result. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Yes, Vaibhav, I'm coming to that. So, is it allowed in the corporate secured environment to avoid data security? See, all these tools, whatever I'm showing you today, right, whether it is Manus or Claude or Copilot, okay, all these are general purpose tools. You will get enterprise grade tools. As we are speaking now, your IT teams are working on enterprise grade tools, whether it is Claude or Copilot or any other 10,000 agents out there. Okay, so your IT teams are figuring this out. So the time is not far when you will be given some AI agent like a Claude, like a Copilot, or like ChatGPT, enterprise version of it, where the data security environment is taken care of. And then you are asked to now execute. You are asked to do things on that particular tool. So the thing today that you need to be mindful of is not which tool do I learn, or are these, what is the use of learning these tools because I'm not able to use it in my office. No, you will be able to use these tools or similar tools in your office very soon. Okay, very, very soon, probably in the next 3 months. Your IT teams are already figuring out how do they get these tools to you at the enterprise grade with the same level of security. Okay. I'll give you a classic example. Okay, let's say today if you're working in some company as a payroll manager, okay, and that as a payroll manager you are handling a payroll of, let's say, 5,000 employees or 4,000 employees. You and your team are handling uh, payroll of 5,000 employees. Okay. Now, you as payroll manager, your task is to make sure that the payroll data is secure. And let's say I'm a corporate FP&A manager, and then there is a payroll team which is sitting out there. Okay. As a corporate FP&A manager, if I get an enterprise grade LLM tool like a Claude, for example, okay, I can ask questions saying that, hey, uh, give me all those people who got increments last year. And sitting in corporate FP&A, if it gives me the data, then the very purpose is defeated. So what will happen is that, like how you are, like how you are logging into your Microsoft account or a 365 account, okay, and it has certain security things set already. You can only access a certain SharePoint folders or shared folders, right? That security level is already set. You cannot access the payroll team's data. Okay. The same thing will also happen within your tool also. You will be given access only to the data which is relevant to your function. For example, let's say I'm working in legal team and I'm using a Claude style or a Manus style tool, okay, to extract data from customer contracts. Okay. Now other teams will not have access to this. Only the legal team will have access to this, or the people who are using the client contracts. Okay. So these things are coming. So right now, don't assume that all these Claude or ChatGPT will not be useful at the enterprise grade level. No, as we speak, IT teams are figuring out how can we get these or similar kind of tools enterprise grade in a secured environment in your company. So right now, what you should be worrying about is not learning which tool. All you need to do right now is worry about learning the skill set to talk to these kind of tools and get things done. Okay. I hope that answers the question. Can Copilot offer similar advantages? Yes, of course. So Copilot can do similar activities, but whatever from what I have heard, Copilot is slightly lightweight uh, in terms of interpretation. But it can do. I mean, Copilot inside Excel is pretty much what we teach in all our programs as well. So it can do. Most of the enterprises have now started using Copilot, but may not be as powerful as a Claude inside Excel. Okay, right now. So maybe Copilot may take over. So right now, sometimes ChatGPT is ahead, sometimes Claude is ahead, sometimes some other tool is ahead. Right. So all these are competing for attention. Okay. So let me quickly come back to the slides. Okay, I'll take the questions in the end again. So let me just come back to the slides. So we saw the machine learning example. Okay, then we saw autonomous accounting in Zoho, where by using natural language instructions, we can do autonomous accounting in Zoho. Then we saw a quick variance analysis commentary in Zoho as well, where it pulled the data from Zoho books, the actuals from Zoho books, and then I gave it a budget file in Excel, and it was able to compare and give me some commentaries as well. And then we created a small agent also, budget versus revenue variance agent, which was in ChatGPT. And then you can download that as an HTML agent, and you can use that for deterministic tasks, which means if your task is the same repetitive task every month, then you can use that for repetitive tasks as well. So these are quick some examples to just to give you a quick glimpse of what is happening and what is coming. We've also started seeing job descriptions now which say that you need to have agentic AI experience, or you need to have Claude experience inside Excel. You need to know how to build financial models with Claude. All of these kind of job profiles have started coming out there. Okay. And all these tools at enterprise grade will come to you very, very soon, probably 3 months from now. Okay. Your manager will force you to use Claude. Your manager will force you to use all of these tools. So we'll take questions in the end. So let me cover quickly some parts of the next section. Okay. So now that you have some understanding about how AI is going to change FP&A, right? So do you realize why is it important and how it will be rewarding for you to learn all of these AI skill sets to grab those opportunities out there in FP&A? Okay. See, automation will come for the rule-based tasks first. So right now, it is important for you to move towards a task which has analysis, which has decision support, which has a lot of human interaction, right? And that is FP&A for you. What we have noticed is we have spoken to hundreds of CFOs, and these are the five critical skill sets that CFOs today are looking for in their finance teams. One is core FP&A concepts. Your budgeting, forecasting, margin analysis, variance analysis, all of these things are your core FP&A concepts that CFOs today are looking for. Financial modeling. Financial modeling, again, not related to investment banking or valuations. Financial modeling specific to FP&A. Your revenue modeling, your cost models, your scenario planning, sensitivity analysis, all of that is financial modeling specific to FP&A. Then data storytelling. Data storytelling again is not just about dashboards, right? It is not about how pretty your dashboard is. It is about how you can facilitate a decision, right? How you can tell a narrative, how you can tell a story with a strong narrative, right? How you can make the business's life easier and allow them to take decisions. So that is data storytelling. Then comes business partnering, where you'll be collaborating with various team members. It's your ability to pick up the business, it's your business acumen, it's your ability to build strong cross-functional relationships. That is what is business partnering. And last but not the least, leveraging all the AI and technological developments that are happening in the finance function to be far more effective, far more efficient in your finance function. What we have done over the last 3 years is we have built a solid certification program. It's called the Certified Global FP&A program, the CGFPA program. The CGFPA program is a global FP&A certification built and delivered directly by CFOs and FP&A leaders. It has 10 comprehensive modules, which we'll talk about it in a while. Then all of this happens through real experiential sessions, right? So real life case studies, real life like data, and you'll be part of a global alumni network. CGFPA program has been taken by students from more than 25 countries so far. You'll get sessions with a personalized career coach, placement support in terms of your resume review, your interview preparation. We also have our own portal. It's called fpnajobs.com. We recently signed a couple of employers for internships, right? So all of that is happening in the background. Again, I don't want to overpromise, but we'll try whatever is in our power to help you get placed. Access to Q&A sessions where you can clarify any of your doubts directly with the faculty, speaker sessions, external speaker sessions like globally top CFOs, FP&A heads, digital transformation experts, tool providers, right? They come and showcase a lot of their AI tools and FP&A tools to our students at FPI, and we do 1 or 2 sessions every month, right? So that's all, and all of this happens through the comfort of your home by giving about 3 to 4 hours a week, right? So we have the best-in-class LMS, all the resources, the recordings and everything are stored on LMS. Live sessions are conducted on Zoom, which you can take from the comfort of your home, right? So CGFPA has 10 solid modules. Starts with introduction to FP&A, where we're covering all the basics of FP&A, how FP&A roles are different, what are some of the nuances in FP&A in terms of KPIs, basic skill sets required to be successful in FP&A. All of that is covered in introduction to FP&A. Then comes the deeper modules of budgeting and forecasting, where different kind of techniques like incremental budgeting, zero-based budgeting, top-down, bottom-up, all of these different kind of budgeting techniques are shared through real-life examples for multiple industries, some in manufacturing, some in service companies, so that you are ready tomorrow for any kind of an industry. For different forecasting techniques, driver-based forecasting, statistical forecasting, all of these examples are shared with real-life examples, real-life case studies. AI in finance, which is our latest module, which we have been running in the last 1 year or so. We are covering all the popular tools like ChatGPT, Manus. We are covering Claude, Copilot. All of that is covered to truly make you future ready, and all of these with P&S specific use cases. FP&A specific use cases of using these tools in your day-to-day FP&A roles. Management reporting, in different kind of management reports, different types of reports, performance management frameworks, your KPIs, your OKRs, balance scorecards. All of these are different reports that decision makers in the company look for. So that's management reporting for you. Then financial modeling specific to FP&A, we already spoke about revenue model, cost model, scenario planning, sensitivity analysis. All of these things are coming under financial modeling specific to FP&A. Even the three-statement financial model is specific to FP&A. Then comes introduction to data analytics. Now, data analytics is where you're dealing with trying to understand and deal with large sets of data. And in order to do that, we're covering all the popular data analytics tools like Power BI, Power Query, SQL, and now we have also introduced Python and Tableau, okay, in the module. So again, do we claim to make you an expert in these tools? No, but at least we take you to a level where you are comfortable to use these tools in your day-to-day work as well. So I'll explain to you how the modules happen. But these are the 10 core modules. Again, financial analysis. Financial analysis is not just ratio analysis. internally as a CFO, you would be looking at various metrics, profitability analysis, margin analysis, mix analysis, horizontal, vertical analysis. All of that is covered through real life use cases or case studies in financial analysis. Then comes storytelling and presentation, storytelling best practices, presentation best practices, what chart type to use, which chart type to use when, what kind of a commentary needs to be narrated, right? So it's not just about dashboards. So there are many things that go behind telling a strong data story or building a budget presentation for for a CEO or a CFO. Yeah, so all of that is covered in storytelling and presentations module. Then comes your strategy module. Now again, strategy module is a very interestingly positioned module where we we are when you become a little bit senior in your company, right? So your senior management will start talking a certain strategic language. At that point in time, you cannot use the strategy terms in a very loose way. That's where we're covering all the popular strategic tools, frameworks, and then also connecting with and telling you how FP&A can contribute to these strategic decisions in the company. And then comes business partnering. Business partnering is all about your business acumen, ability to build strong cross-functional relationships through 7 to 8 good use cases or other examples, real-life examples of what Asif and I have worked in our careers. We show you how you can truly collaborate with HR, business development, IT teams, and various other teams in the company to truly add value to the business. So all these are covered in through real-life examples. Again, the storytelling, strategy, and business partnering modules are slightly geared towards mid-senior professionals as well. Okay, so these are the 10 solid modules or the core modules which we call, right? So these are covered in the CGFPA program. Again, don't just think about this as a course or a certification. It's 20 years of our blood, sweat, and tears packed into a 6-month program, which can easily fast track your FP&A career by a few years. Again, some case studies, 25 plus case studies, 50 plus examples, 10 plus tools and frameworks, a guided capstone project, which we'll be attempting in somewhere month number 5 or 6. It's a 6-month certification program. And the tools, all these tools are covered. Even the AI tools are covered through separate modules and sessions. So how the CGFP program works is that next cohort is starting in June. So that is where every Saturday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Every Saturday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. will be the core modules, which is the 10 modules that I showed you: financial analysis, budgeting, strategy, budgeting, forecasting, data storytelling, all of these tools. Okay. And then Sunday will be the tool track. So these are the core modules, and somewhere in month number 5, month number 6, you will be submitting your capstone project and finally giving the final examination in the end. So if you're starting in June, then your final examination will come sometime in the first week of January. Every quarter, we have that examination. And then here is a Sunday track. Sunday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST will be your tool track, right? So Sundays will be tools. Although we mentioned that the core modules are compulsory, the tool track is optional, but tool tracks are recommended, right? So because it will still give you a lot of insights into how these tools are used in a day-to-day FP&A role. Okay, and this is where we are covering Power BI, SQL, Python, Tableau, all of these tools. It goes on till December. Right? So every Sunday for 2 hours. So Saturday and Sunday for 2 hours. So that's the 4 hours of commitment that you require weekly to, get near working level knowledge in FP&A. Now, what is the eligibility criteria for CGFPA? You need to have a minimum of bachelor's degree or a global equivalent in finance, accounting, or business. Alternatively, you may have professional qualifications like CA, CPA, CMA, ACCA, or any respective accounting qualification of your country. So once you have that, you need to attend at least 50% of the classes live, and this is for the core modules, the Saturday modules. Okay, you need to have at least minimum 50% attendance, and then submit the capstone. Again, the capstone is an optional capstone, but recommended. It needs to be submitted within the stipulated deadline in month number 5. Once you do that, then you are eligible for the final examination. The final examination is a 2 hours live proctored examination, which happens on our exam platform. And then that is a multiple choice questions examination, which has 50 questions and 100 marks. Okay, so that is where you need at least minimum 50% passing marks. And once you pass it with 50% passing marks, you will be awarded the CGFP program from FP&A Professionals Institute, CGFP award from FP&A Professionals Institute. We are an autonomous body at this point in time, so we are also recognized by CPD UK. So you can claim your continuing credits in your regular accounting qualifications as well. So the course fee investment in this program is USD 1795. And you can also pay that over 5 months. There's an option to pay that over 5 months. The total course duration will be for 6 months. About, I would say, 5 to 6 hours of your weekly time commitment is required. The Saturday, Sunday live classes for 4 hours, and about 45 to 60 minutes of your own time investment is required, because sometimes we might give you certain pre-reading materials or case studies beforehand for you to go through and then come prepared to the classroom. And the live sessions are starting from, the orientation is happening on 13th of June, and the live sessions are actually starting from 4th of July. Okay, so Here's the application QR code. So let me also quickly share the application link in the chat box. A quick reminder that the next round of applications, two rounds of applications have already closed for the next cohort. The next round of applications are closing on the 5th of June 2026, which is tomorrow. My recommendation to all of you would be to at least apply for the CGPA program. Let our academic counselors check your eligibility, reach out to you, with any other ongoing offer at that point in time. So let us send you the offer letter, and then you can decide whether you want to join the CGPA program or no. Again, don't just join it because we are telling you. Once the academic counselors reach out, you can of course ask for our previous alumni phone numbers, any queries that you might have, any demo lectures that you want. All of that is available. Tons and tons of testimonials are there. You can reach out to any of our alumni, and they'll tell you how the program has been valuable for them. And a quick reminder that the next uh, round of applications is closing on the 5th of June 2026, which is tomorrow. So make sure that you at least complete the application link. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.